9-year-old girl's incredible plea exposed, how love transformed their life after heartbreaking adversity. Lucy was not your typical 9-year-old. In a small town where every whispered conversation reverberated like a thunderclap, she held the kind of hope that could light a fire in the darkest corners. Life wasn't always kind to them. With her mother Sarah working long shifts at the local diner just to keep them afloat, Lucy often wore a brave face, hiding behind the vibrant world of her imagination. But everything changed one chilly autumn afternoon when she overheard the heart-stopping news. Mr. Thompson, their elderly neighbor, beloved war veteran and guardian of their dreams, was losing his home. Unshed tears stung Lucy's eyes as she felt the weight of despair grip her like a vice. She couldn't let that happen to Mr. Thompson had always looked out for them, sharing stories of bravery, lending a hand when bills became mountains too tall to climb. Hearing that the unexpected medical expenses had wiped out his savings struck Lucy like a sudden winter chill. The townsfolk were lined up on either side, debating, but Lucy knew she had to choose a side, and it was the side of hope. Determined, she grabbed her notepad, the one with sparkly stars on the cover, and began scribbling a letter filled with both her childlike innocence and fierce determination. Each word dripped with sincerity as she pleadingly asked for help, urging her community to remember the spirit of togetherness. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. With newfound purpose swelling in her chest, Lucy rallied her classmates, each one captivated by the spark she ignited in their hearts. They planned a fundraiser in the school gym, an event that shifted from skepticism to spirited anticipation. As the dusty wooden floorboards hummed beneath the eager crowd gathered, the opening notes of an old guitar intertwined with warm voices, echoing memories of sacrifices made. Families came together, standing shoulder to shoulder, united in their collective desire to give back, to support the gentle giant next door, but at home, conflict brewed. Sarah, brow furrowed and worry lines etched deep, struggled to grasp her daughter's unyielding optimism. Lucy, it's nice to help, but what about us? Her words were heavy with concern, the weight of their reality pressing down. Lucy felt torn, her heart aching for Mr. Thompson while wanting nothing more than her mother's understanding. Tensions rose and railed against their closeness, revealing fears that both mother and daughter shared. As the energy surged through the room at the fundraiser, an invisible tension coursed like electricity among the doubts. Just as Lucy was about to share her heart and make a true impact, a sudden storm rolled in, and rain battered the windows. The once bright atmosphere dipped into uncertainty, rippling doubts across the crowd. People shifted uncomfortably, murmurs of skepticism creeping in. With tears threatening to spill, Lucy stood tall amid the chaos, her voice trembling but unwavering. Would they follow her into the light of possibility, or would they retreat back into their shells? Would Mr. Thompson be saved, or would they all be left to weather their own storms? She didn't know what would happen next, but she felt it deep down. This was just the beginning. As the rain pelted the gym's windows, the world outside grew dim and murky, but within the room, the vibrant energy of hope hovered like a robin perched upon a branch, the promise of spring just around the corner. Lucy could feel hearts shifting, minds opening. She took a step forward, her small figure silhouetted against the dim lights. The eyes of her classmates, their parents, and even the local townsfolk were glued to her, and in that moment, she felt more powerful than ever. Mr. Thompson, she began, her voice barely rising above the drumming of the rain. He's not just a neighbor. He's a part of our story, our community. He taught me that even when things get tough, we have to stand together. Her sincerity cut through the doubt that had begun to settle around them like a fog. Faces softened, and she could see a flicker of understanding ignite in the depths of their eyes. Just as she gathered her strength to continue, a loud crash echoed outside as a branch snapped under the weight of the storm. Gasps rippled through the crowd, but Lucy pushed through the noise. We have the chance to help him. A fundraiser will show everyone that we care. Her voice rang clear and true, filled with a fervor that grabbed hold of even the most skeptical hearts. The storm continued to swirl, but her determination became the eye of it, a calm within the chaos. Let us be the light on the other side of this darkness. She shouted, passion threading through each word, drawing the audience closer into her narrative. It was as if the rain paused momentarily, allowing her message to seep into the walls like warmth. One by one, parents nodded in agreement. They shared glances filled with understanding and recognition, their hearts echoing the longing to support Mr. Thompson. Lucy's confidence surged as she observed their faces light up with renewed hope. Just when it seemed like victory was within reach, Lucy locked eyes with her mother, stilling herself. Sarah's expression was a storm of worry and disbelief, a tether to the very fears Lucy wished to overcome. I know we struggle, Mom, Lucy whispered, the words tumbling out, but this is bigger than us. If we don't help Mr. Thompson, what does that say about community? The room fell silent, emotions tangled like the branches outside. A few parents leaned into each other, murmuring about their own hardships. Lucy could see the bridge forming between isolation and connection, piercing the gloom. Raising her arms slowly, as if inviting them all to join her in this fight, she urged, let us come together and do this. We are stronger than our fears. Together, we can bring hope back to our neighbor. If we stand united, if we believe, with a powerful wave of renewed spirit, a chorus of yes began to ripple through the audience. A mom stood to match Lucy's courage, then others joined in. The collective voice swelled into a wave of support, overwhelming emotion uniting them in purpose. Meanwhile, Lucy felt her own heart race. Could it really be happening? But as Mr. Thompson's smiling face lingered in her mind, her conviction solidified. If only he knew they were fighting for him. Just then, a sudden thunderclap roared, shaking the gym's walls, and while the storm outside raged on, Lucy stood grounded, a beacon amidst the chaos. A plan was forming, a glimmer of light visible even through the dark clouds. But in that moment, thoughts about her mother's emotions intertwined with waves of joy and uncertainty. As the meeting concluded and distant conversations buzzed around her, Lucy's mind raced with ideas. Would they really pull it off? But deep down, a nagging question hung like the storm above. What sacrifices would need to be made to save a legacy? The weight of responsibility on her small shoulders felt heavier as the gathering began to disperse. Lucy glanced at Sarah, who was talking to a friend. Would her mother's fears resurface? With determination threaded through her veins, Lucy steeled herself. She sensed the calm before the next storm. The real challenges were just beginning, and as she stepped into the unknown, one thing was clear: her journey was far from over. As the first drops of hope began to fall from the sky, she asked herself, what would it cost to unite the community and save the man who had always saved them? Lucy stepped out into the rain, the downpour soaking her hair and clothes within seconds. She welcomed the coolness, a stark contrast to the warmth blooming in her heart. Her mind was buzzing with excitement and fear, the two emotions intertwining like the branches outside the gym. Did you really mean all that? A voice broke through her thoughts. It was Mia, her best friend, appearing at her side, equally drenched yet smiling. Every word, Lucy replied, her spirit buoyed by Mia's presence. But I'm scared. What if we fail? Mia shrugged, the water glistening in her curls. What if we don't? We have to try. With each step away from the gym, Lucy felt the weight of the world on her shoulders. She knew that the fundraiser would be a community effort, but the road ahead felt daunting. People would need to believe, not just in the cause, but in the kids who initiated it. How could she get them to rally around something that seemed so overwhelming? What's the first step? Mia asked, nudging Lucy as they crossed the street. Lucy stopped in her tracks, thoughts swirling. She had a list in her head: the bake sales, car washes, even a neighborhood block party. She could already picture the community coming together, children laughing, parents chatting, all for Mr. Thompson. We need a plan, Lucy finally said, her resolve hardening. We'll schedule a meeting with everyone who wants to help. The more ideas, the better. They made their way to the community center, where a bulletin board filled with flyers caught their eye. Lucy's gaze fell upon the little notes, a few of which were faded and torn. Look, Mia. We could put up a flyer for our fundraiser right here. Mia beamed. Yeah. We can make it bright and colorful, so everyone notices. Lucy dug into her backpack and pulled out a pack of markers. They spent the next few minutes crafting a vibrant poster, slogans fluttering around like butterflies. Together for Thompson. They wrote in bold letters, splashing a rainbow of colors across the paper. As they stood back to admire their work, the door creaked open, and a few townsfolk wandered in. They paused, reading the poster. Lucy felt her heart race. Would they support their idea? Suddenly, one of the older ladies, Mrs. Jensen, stepped forward. Who are you girls trying to help? Mr. Thompson, Lucy said, her voice steady. We're organizing a fundraiser for him. He needs our help. We can't let the storm take away someone so important to all of us. Mrs. Jensen's eyes softened. You girls have heart. His yard always had the best tomatoes in town. She smiled, pulling out her phone. I'll spread the word. Lucy felt a warmth spread through her. It was beginning. One person at a time, they would build a community of hope around Mr. Thompson. Soon, others started to gather around. Curiosity turned into support, and Lucy shared their plans for bake sales and a block party, her voice rising with excitement, but deep inside, she still felt the weight of her mother's doubts lingering like storm clouds. What would her mom say when she found out they were organizing this? What if Sarah couldn't handle the extra stress? As encouragement poured in from people around her, Lucy couldn't shake the feeling that some storms were brewing closer to home. Could they really pull this off and keep her family safe, too? Would her mother's worries hold them back, even when the community was stepping forward? Lucy watched as more and more people grabbed a flyer, her heart swelling with hope but also tightening with anxiety. She was no longer just fighting for Mr. Thompson, she was fighting for her family, too. With Mrs. Jensen's words echoing in her mind, Lucy took a deep breath. With the community behind her, something beautiful was growing, but shadows still loomed just outside of her view. What other unforeseen challenges awaited her on this path, and could she find the courage to face them all? As the rain continued to fall, the thunder crackled in the distance, a reminder of the storm still ahead. What would it take to break through the darkness, and bring light to both Mr. Thompson and her own family? Rain splattered against the pavement as Lucy moved through the crowd in the community center. Each flyer she handed out felt like a lifeline, a connection being woven tightly through shared hopes. She could see parents engaging, people nodding in agreement, and the reality of 50 bright ideas buzzing around her like a swarm of fireflies. It was infectious. Mia excitedly chatted with Mrs. Jensen, who had just promised to bake 24 cookies for the event. Every little commitment was precious, knitting the fabric of their cause closer together. But just as Lucy began to feel the high swell of accomplishment, a shadow flickered in her mind. What if nobody comes? The voice was faint, but it was there. A nagging fear creeping in when everything seemed so hopeful. She pressed her lips together, trying to dismiss the thought. Hey, look! A voice shouted, pulling her from her spiral. A group of kids from school came through the double doors, their backpacks bouncing against their backs. Alex, the captain of the soccer team, was leading the pack, a playful grin plastered across his face. You guys are doing this? He asked, eyeing the posters. Lucy could see the twinkle of enthusiasm sparkling in his eyes. Count me in. I'll rally the team to help. The floodgate had opened. The energy surged, igniting enthusiasm around her. Even before the fundraiser began, they were already making connections, building alliances. Awesome! Mia exclaimed, excitement bubbling in her voice. She whipped out her phone, starting a group chat right then and there, full of laughter and emojis. Lucy's anxiety eased just a fraction as she joined in the chatter, their spirits buoyed by the collective sense of purpose, but as the day wore on, Lucy felt the shadows creep back. Each name they added to their list of volunteers brought joy, yet uncertainty danced in her thoughts just behind their laughter. Would they be able to handle the logistics? The preparations? Her eyes flitted back to her phone, her mother's name flashing on the screen. With a quick swipe, she read the message. "Hey Lucy, how's everything with your school project going? Make sure you don't take on too much stress." Her heart sank. What would it take to get her mom to see this wasn't just a project? It was bigger than that, it was essential. Lucy opened her mouth, the words on the tip of her tongue, but they wouldn't come out. Instead, she put her phone back down resolutely. She needed to talk to her mom. "So, what's next?" Mia asked, cutting through her spiral of thoughts. "I think we need a plan for where to meet and how to get donations." Lucy caught a spark in Mia's eyes. "We should meet at the park this weekend, get as many people there as we can. We can set up tables for donations and have a quick brainstorming session." "Perfect." Mia agreed, her smile brightening even in the dull lighting of the community center. As they finalized their plans, Lucy noticed the growing number of flyers on the bulletin board, an emerging testament to their efforts. But amidst the encouragement lay the undercurrent of doubt still persisting in her heart. That night, as she lay in bed, the events of the day replayed in her mind. Each moment carried its own weight, hope wrapped in anxiety. She wanted this for Mr. Thompson, but she also wanted her mom to understand. Would she support her, or would doubt hover over them, growing like shadows in the corners of their home? Lucy turned to her side, glancing at the rain-soaked window, thinking of storms, the one outside and those brewing within her family. What if she faced her mother with this? Would it open the dialogue she so desperately needed? The questions lingered, filling her with a mix of fear and determination. Tomorrow would demand courage, perhaps the hardest kind, but she was ready to fight. As she drifted off to sleep, a soft resolve shaped in her heart: she would not let fear eclipse the light of their mission. But would her mother see the importance of this fight? The storm was growing, and Lucy was burning with a question: when would she find the right moment to bring her mother into the light? Lucy woke with the soft light of dawn streaming through her window, morning shadows elongating across her room. It felt like the sun was urging her on, nudging her toward whatever lay ahead. Today was pivotal. She took a deep breath and sat up, the weight of her previous thoughts still heavy on her mind. Today, she would talk to her mom. After breakfast, she found her mother in the living room, absorbed in her laptop, the screen illuminating her furrowed brow. Lucy hesitated at the doorway, her heart pounding as she mustered the courage to speak. "Mom," she ventured, her voice barely above a whisper. Her mother looked up, surprise mixing with frustration. "Lucy, can it wait? I have emails to send." Lucy's chest tightened, the fear of rejection threatening to swallow her whole. But today, she wouldn't let that hold her back. "It's important. Can I just have a minute?" Her mother sighed and closed her laptop, the urgency in Lucy's tone catching her attention. "All right. What is it?" "I wanted to tell you about the fundraiser I'm organizing for Mr. Thompson," Lucy said, her words tumbling out faster than she could regulate. "It's not just a school project, Mom. It's for him. He's been like a grandpa to me, to all of us. He really needs help." Her mother's expression shifted, a flicker of concern blooming there. "That sounds great, Lucy, but raising money is complicated. You're not sure it'll go as planned, right? Every moment we spend doubting, Mr. Thompson suffers more," Lucy replied passionately, her heart racing. "I believe we can make a difference. I have volunteers lined up, and people are excited. But I need your support." The silence stretched between them, and Lucy held her breath, waiting. Finally, her mother's eyes softened. "Okay, I understand your feelings. I truly do. But you have to think of your schoolwork too. This looks like a lot. Lucy shook her head, desperation bubbling to the surface. Please, Mom. This means everything to me and to Mr. Thompson. I can handle both. The room felt charged, emotions crackling in the air. Lucy's mother chewed her lip, a sign of deep contemplation. All right, she finally said, relaxing her posture slightly. I'll help you organize it. But I need to see you managing your time well. Deal? A rush of relief flooded Lucy's system, making her feel lighter. Deal. Thank you, Mom. They spent the morning mapping out ideas, brainstorming techniques for donations, and discussing logistics. With each plan they outlined, Lucy felt every patch of fear loosening its grip. They turned the living room into a command center, sticky notes strewn everywhere like a confetti of hope and determination. Later that day, Lucy and Mia met at the park. The sun was bright, and the laughter of children filled the air. Families strolled by, the atmosphere buzzing with a sense of community. Holding up flyers, they waved at passers-by, sharing their purpose and drawing people into the collective dream. As the day went on, they gathered a small crowd, and Lucy's excitement soared. People were inspired. Donations started rolling in. Everything began to feel within reach, yet doubt whispered in her ear, would it last? Suddenly, the crowd parted, and Lucy spotted Alex approaching, soccer team members flanking him like a bold cheer squad. Lucy! He shouted, waving wildly. We're here to help. The whole team wants to pitch in. Emotion welled up in her throat, warm and overwhelming. They truly believed in this cause. But as laughter erupted and plans melded around her, Lucy saw a shadow flicker at the edge of the park. Her mother had arrived, arms crossed, eyes observing from a distance. The pulsing excitement of the moment receded an inch. She hadn't expected to see her there so soon. Oh no, she whispered to Mia, pointing discreetly. What's wrong? Mia asked, her brow furrowed. I think she's worried again, Lucy said, feeling the familiar tightness return. Nervousness clawed at her. Would her mom find fault? Would she think Lucy couldn't manage this after all? But just then, her phone buzzed. Mia leaned in. It was a message from her mother. A simple sentence that sent a new wave of hope flooding through her. Lucy, I'm proud of you. Lucy's heart raced. If only she could transform that pride into the support she needed. With renewed determination, she approached her mother, heart thundering in her ears. Mom, can we talk? I want you to see all of this. And as she stepped forward, she couldn't help but wonder, would this be the moment that solidified their bond, or would fear still hold them apart? As Lucy approached her mother, the chatter of the crowd faded into a distant murmur, the wind rustling the park leaves almost deafening in its stillness. Her heart pounded, each step feeling heavier than the last. This was at the moment she had longed for, yet feared as well. Mom, she said, her voice trembling slightly, I really want you to see what we're doing. She gestured towards the small crowd, who were now filling out donation cards and chatting excitedly with her friends. Her mother shifted her weight, still wary, but curiosity flickered in her eyes. What do you mean, Lucy? Is this really all for Mr. Thompson? Her tone held a hint of skepticism, but there was also something softer, a willingness to listen. Yes. Lucy replied, encouraged by the brief spark of interest. Look at everyone. They care. They want to help him just like I do. We can change his life together. She felt a rush of heat, infusing her with the courage she needed. The soccer team had settled in, declaring ice cream treats in exchange for donations. Laughter and playful banter filled the air, and the sight of Alex playfully tossing a football among friends warmed Lucy's heart. But could her mom see it? Could she see the ripple of kindness spreading through their community? Her mother cautiously crossed the grass, her arms still folded, but her brow began to relax. Lucy noticed the moment when her expression shifted, how it softened as she took in the scene around them. The families, the joy, the determination in every face. This wasn't just a fundraiser. This was a community effort. It's pretty amazing, huh? A voice chimed in from behind. It was Mia, her friend, beaming with enthusiasm. It feels good to rally together for a cause. I didn't realize you had all of this organized, her mom said, finally uncrossing her arms. What exactly is the plan here? I mean, how do you expect to raise enough? With excitement bubbling over, Lucy explained their detailed plans: the bake sale next weekend, the car wash the following week, and how they were getting local businesses involved. We'll make a difference, I just know it. I'm just. Her mother paused, glancing around, taking in the hopeful energy surrounding them. I'm really impressed with how passionate everyone is. But you know it won't be easy, Lucy. Lucy's heart raced. Would her mother finally see the sacrifice she was willing to make? I know, Mom, and I'm ready. I won't give up on Mr. Thompson. I can do this. I see. I just want to make sure you balance everything. School is important too. She offered a small, hesitant smile. Lucy felt the heaviness in her chest lift. You'll help me though, right? Her mother nodded slowly, her expression warming further. All right, I'll be here for you. But you have to promise to keep me updated. Let us really make a plan. A rush of joy surged through Lucy. Thank you. She turned back to the crowd, where someone was handing out balloons, and the laughter bubbled even louder now. The sun was blazing down, illuminating this unexpected moment. Lucy couldn't help but feel that maybe, just maybe, things would change for her family, for Mr. Thompson, and for her too. But as she watched the balloons float away, a new thought curled around her mind. What if they raised enough funds, only to discover it wasn't enough? What if something went wrong? Hey, Lucy. Mia called, pulling her from her worries. We need your help over here. As Lucy raced back to her friends, her mother's approving glance and the weight of uncertainty lingered. With each contribution, would they truly be closer to helping Mr. Thompson, or was this all a fleeting moment of hope? In that moment, as Lucy dove back into the crowd, she wondered, could hope transform into reality, or was the specter of doubt still lurking, waiting to strike? Lucy dove into the lively crowd, her heart still racing. The sounds of laughter and chatter enveloped her, stirring a sense of purpose deep within. As she helped Mia set up a mini booth decorated with colorful drawings and a big banner that read, "Help Mr. Thompson," she couldn't help but feel a rush of adrenaline. Each tick of the donation box reinforced her belief that together, they could really make a difference. So, how many donations have we gotten? Mia asked, bouncing on her heels, her excitement infectious. Lucy glanced over at the box. I think we're at $20 already. Can you believe it? Her eyes sparkled with the thrill of every dollar collected. Each contribution was a small step closer to their goal. As the day rolled on, Lucy noticed families arriving, some with kids in tow, all eager to join in the fun. The atmosphere felt electric. She could see friends and neighbors coming together, sharing stories and laughter, all focused on one common cause. It made her chest swell with pride. Maybe the world is still good, she thought, but beneath the surface, the whisper of doubt still gnawed at her thoughts. If they held all these fundraisers, what would happen if they didn't raise enough? Would Mr. Thompson still have to struggle? Would they really make the difference they promised to? Mia. Look! Lucy exclaimed suddenly as she spotted Mrs. Bennet, their favorite teacher, walking toward them with a group of kids. We should get her involved too. Great idea. Mia grinned, waving enthusiastically. As Mrs. Bennet approached, her eyes lit up. Well, if it isn't my favorite fundraisers. I'm so proud of you. She surveyed the scene and added, looks like a wonderful turnout. Thanks, Mrs. Bennet. We're trying to raise money for Mr. Thompson, Lucy explained, her heart swelling with hope. We're having so much fun. And every little bit helps. I'd love to help too. Mrs. Bennet smiled, her kindness radiating warmth. How about I get some of my students to bake cookies for a bake sale next weekend? It'll be a hit. Yes. That would be amazing. Lucy jumped with joy. Thank you. But as the excitement unfolded, Lucy noticed a shadow fall over her heart again. What if they didn't make enough? What if Mr. Thompson's challenges were beyond their reach? The thought was like an anchor, trying to pull her joy down into uncertainty. Lucy, you okay? Mia's voice cut through her swirling thoughts. Yeah, I just. Lucy hesitated. What if we do all this work and it's not enough? What if he still can't get better? Mia paused, her brow furrowing. But we're doing something. That's what matters. Every little bit adds up. We can't just focus on the end result. Lucy nodded slowly, feeling the warmth of Mia's words, but the doubt still lingered, shadowing her like a dark cloud. The truth was, the stakes felt high. This wasn't just a fundraiser. It was about someone's life. With each smile, each cheer, she just had to believe. Lucy inhaled deeply, trying to push the fear away. She spotted a little boy clutching a colorful balloon. It swayed gently in the light breeze, a vivid reminder that sometimes hope floats, even when doubts threaten to ground it. Turning back to Mia, she took a deep breath. Let us just keep going, okay? No matter what. Together. Mia shouted, their enthusiasm echoed across the park, drawing even more attention to their cause, but beneath the laughter, an unsettling thought remained. What dangers awaited them at the finish line, and would their dreams flicker out when faced with stark reality? As the sun began to set, painting the sky in brilliant hues of orange and pink, Lucy couldn't shake the feeling. What if they uncovered a truth about Mr. Thompson that would change everything forever? Lucy felt the world spin as the evening light danced on the faces around her. The whispers of the crowd faded, replaced by the drumbeat of her racing heart. She wished she could embrace the joy of the moment fully, but the darkness in her mind loomed larger with every ounce of hope she gathered. As she stood at the booth, watching Mia laugh with the kids, Lucy couldn't help but feel a little lost. The colorful drawings glimmered, but did they truly hold the power to change something real? She thought about Mr. Thompson's smile, warm but fading. Did it have enough strength to survive their efforts? Hey, Lucy. Mia's voice jolted her back. Look. We've got a line. She pointed toward a small gathering forming in front of their booth. Lucy's heart leaped at the sight. People were becoming interested. Friends, family, and even strangers were joining hands in their cause. A woman stepped forward, holding a handful of coins. Hey, what's this all about? She asked, her friendly smile spreading warmth. This is for Mr. Thompson, Mia chimed, her voice full of conviction. He needs our help. The woman nodded, her smile brighter now. My son has loved Mr. Thompson since kindergarten. He always talks about his stories. Of course, we want to help. She dropped coins into the donation box, and Lucy's heart filled a little more. As donations started to accumulate, Lucy's spirit lifted. Yet still, that shadow clawed at her. What if this wasn't enough? What if this was just a drop in the ocean for someone who needed so much more? Hey, you too! Called a familiar voice. It was Tom, a friend from school. He jogged over, panting slightly. I heard about your booth. Come join us, Tom. Mia beamed. We're raising money for Mr. Thompson. Wow, I can't believe how many people showed up. This is amazing. Tom knelt down beside the box, looking at the donations inside. I've got my allowance saved up. Can I? Before he finished, he fished out a crumpled bill from his pocket and handed it over. It wasn't much, but it was his entire savings for the week. Lucy was touched. Simple gestures like that meant everything. The sun dipped lower, casting long shadows across the grass. The laughter and chatter hung like magic in the air, but a gnawing fear still clawed inside her mind. What awaited them once the dust settled? Just then, Lucy noticed a figure on the fringe of the crowd, shuffling slightly. It was Mr. Thompson. He typically wouldn't come to events, so his presence shocked her. His hair was ruffled, his features weary. Yet, he managed to wear a smile that lit up the dimness, even as it broke her heart. "What's this?" he called out, faint confusion lacing his voice. Lucy's throat tightened. She wanted to rush to him, to explain everything. Instead, she froze, uncertainty plastering itself onto her skin. We're raising money for you, Mr. Thompson. We thought you'd like to see." He stepped closer, eyes sparkling with something deeper than gratitude stirred in his gaze. "It means so much to me that you care." "But don't say that," Mia interrupted, stepping up with fierce resolve. "We can help. This is just the beginning." The sun dipped below the horizon, casting shadows that cloaked their bodies in darkness, but Lucy felt a flicker of something brighter within her. Could they really change the narrative? Every heartbeat echoed the uncertainty, and her spirit danced between fear and hope. Yet, as she stood there, the questions nagged at her mind. What more would they need to discover to truly make a difference? And would the truth unravel everything they hoped to achieve? The soft sounds of chatter filled the air, but beneath it, a silence weighed heavily on Lucy. She watched Mr. Thompson's eyes flicker with emotions she couldn't quite decipher. Was it gratitude, disbelief, or perhaps a hint of sorrow? It made her chest ache. "Mia," Lucy whispered, breaking away from her reverie, "what if he thinks we're wasting our time?" Mia shot her a determined look. "We're not wasting anything. It's about showing him he matters. He needs to feel that love, you know." Lucy nodded, but doubt still clung to her like a wet blanket. She glanced back at Mr. Thompson, who was speaking with others now, his smile a little more genuine as they shared stories. Yet she couldn't shake the lingering worry. How would he react once the campaign faded? The crowd around their booth began to grow as more people arrived, their faces alight with enthusiasm. It felt like a celebration, but Lucy felt distant from that joy. Each coin dropped into the box reminded her that they were moving forward, yes, but still not close enough to the finish line. "Hey, Lucy, come help me with these art supplies," Mia called, waving her over. "We need to keep the kids busy." As Lucy helped, she caught bits of conversation from nearby. People reminiscing about Mr. Thompson, sharing how his stories sparked their imaginations. There was love in those conversations, a community rallying together. "His stories helped my little girl learn to read," one woman said, her eyes glistening. "We can't let him just fade away." Feeling warmth from the words, Lucy's heart fluttered. Maybe they could make a real change, not just for Mr. Thompson, but for the entire community. She wanted to hold on to that hope, but fear dimmed its light. "How much have we raised so far?" she asked Tom, who was organizing a line of kids ready to paint the skies with their colors. "About $100. He exclaimed loudly, beaming. "Not bad for the first day, right?" Lucy's eyes widened. "Wow! That's incredible." For just a brief moment, her heart filled with pride. They were doing something, but as the sun set, casting hues of purple and gold, she was reminded of the fragility of time. A chorus of laughter echoed, but it felt muted against the bustle of her thoughts. Would it be enough? Just then, Mr. Thompson ambled over to their booth. "Can I help?" he asked, and his voice was steady, yet there was an undercurrent of vulnerability. Mia nodded enthusiastically. "Of course, Mr. Thompson. We love your help." An idea sparked in Lucy's mind, but the question lingered, could they invite him into their plan fully? After all, he was the heart of this entire mission. Could they turn his stories into a way to connect not just for money, but for inspiration and hope? As they organized the kids for their next project, Lucy felt an urgency. "Mr. Thompson," she ventured cautiously, "what if we share your stories? Maybe we can gather everyone and you could read them together. It might draw even more support." His eyes widened in surprise, and then softened with something like warmth, but doubt clouded his response. I haven't shared those tales in a long, long time, Lucy. I know you can. You have us now. Lucy encouraged him, hoping to chip away at his hesitation, yet time was slipping through her fingers, and she realized the gravity of their task. If sharing those stories could spark the same joy in others that it brought to Lucy, it might be just what they needed. Let us do it, Mr. Thompson finally said, his voice stronger now, filled with resolve. Let us share them. Lucy's heart soared, each beat echoing her newfound determination. As anticipation swept through the crowd and hope flickered brighter, she wondered what stories would emerge from Mr. Thompson and what surprises awaited them in their journey to revive not just one man, but an entire community. Would these stories be the key to unite everyone, or would they reveal truths better left hidden? The sun shone vibrantly on the park, painting everything in golden hues. It was the day of the big fundraiser, and Lucy could feel the excitement humming through the air like electricity. Families were setting up booths, laughter bubbled like a cool brook, and the smell of fresh baked goods wafted sweetly like an embrace. As Lucy and Mia set their own booth, adorned with colorful signs and a donation box overflowing with bills and coins, the buzz of activity around them felt contagious. The plan was simple but powerful. Everyone was going to gather to hear Mr. Thompson's stories, and in return, the community would lend their support. Can you believe how many people showed up? Mia exclaimed, adjusting a balloon tied to their booth. It's amazing. Lucy felt her heart swell with pride. I really hope he's ready. This is so important. Just then, a familiar figure appeared, weaving through the crowd, the gentle giant himself, Mr. Thompson. At first, he seemed unsure, but Lucy could see a flicker of determination behind those weary eyes. Lucy, Mia, he called softly, drawing closer. I'm proud of all of you for what you're doing. It's truly remarkable, Mr. Thompson. Lucy rushed towards him, her excitement bubbling over. We're so glad you're here. Are you ready to share your stories? He shifted his weight, the sunlight catching the deep lines of his face. I haven't told those tales in a while, Lucy. I'm afraid I might forget some of the details. Don't worry, she assured him, eyes shining bright. The stories you've shared with us, they've inspired countless people. You don't have to be perfect, just tell them from your heart. With that, Lucy reached for his hand, squeezing it tightly. You mean so much to this community. We're counting on you. Mr. Thompson finally nodded, his expression softening. All right, I'll do it. He straightened up, a hint of pride returning, and for the first time, Lucy caught a glimpse of the spirit that villagers revered, the spirit that could light up a room. As the crowd gathered around, anticipation crackled like fireworks. Lucy stood beside him, heart racing with excitement and a touch of fear. Everyone, thank you for coming. Today is about sharing, supporting, and reminding ourselves of what community means. Mr. Thompson is going to share some of his stories, the same tales that brought us all together. With the first word from Mr. Thompson's lips, silence enveloped them. His voice was steady, each story weaving history, laughter, and a few bittersweet phrases together. As he talked, the children listened with wide-eyed wonder, while the adults leaned in closer, all captivated through the magic of shared tales. Every chime of laughter, every gasp of astonishment punctuated his words, and slowly, piece by piece, Mr. Thompson began to blossom. The stories combined with their purpose crystallized hope like dew on a spring morning, yet amidst the growing excitement, Lucy couldn't shake the nagging worry at the back of her mind. Would they really raise enough to help him keep his home? The thought clouded her joy, but she pushed those fears aside. And then, as if the universe was in tune with her hopes, a hand shot up from the crowd. How can we help more? Called a familiar face, Mrs. Bennett. Let us turn this into a series. Maybe we could have Mr. Thompson read stories every week. People would want to donate to hear them. The crowd erupted with a wave of applause as more and more voices chimed in. Ideas flowed like a river: bake sales, car washes, even a talent show. It felt like a collective heartbeat, and in that moment, Lucy knew they were not just fundraising, they were building bonds. As the event unfolded and people began to donate, Lucy could see the transformation in Mr. Thompson's demeanor. Hope ignited in his eyes, dancing around the shadows that had lingered for so long. Slowly, he stepped back with the crowd, and Lucy's heart ached with joy. This wasn't just a fundraiser, it was a revival of community spirit. After the last story was told and the cheers echoed into the dusk, Lucy and Mia gathered. People around the donation box. Eager hands dropped in bills and coins, the overall total growing larger and larger. Finally, it was time to announce the results. Together, we raised over $1,000. Mia cried out, eyes sparkling with disbelief. The crowd erupted in cheers. Lucy jumped up and down, full of joy, and then, in that loud moment, something hit a crescendo. Standing there amid the celebration, her eyes landed on her mother, who had arrived earlier but had been lost in the crowd. Lucy made her way through the throng, her heart racing with hope and uncertainty. "Mom, did you see?" "I did, sweetheart," Sarah replied, her voice warm and proud. "You have brought everyone together. It's incredible." As Lucy looked at her mother, she realized that acceptance had formed a bridge between them, a newfound understanding. Strong hands had appeared on both sides to flow into that goal of hope, the power of community. And then, as night fell and the first stars twinkled above, Lucy stood with Mr. Thompson at her side, surrounded by friends and family. "Thank you," she whispered to him. "You taught us what it means to be part of something bigger." Through all the adversity, love and hope flourished like wildflowers after a storm. Lucy knew there would be challenges ahead, life would always throw more storms, but for now, she savored the beauty in unity, in kindness, and in the strength of their community. As for Mr. Thompson, he didn't just regain his home, he regained his place in the hearts of many. And Lucy, well, she transformed from a scared little girl into a beacon of light, a symbol of hope, perseverance, and love that could ignite change. This was their moment, and the journey was still unwritten ahead. But together, they faced it all with radiant smiles and full hearts. Now, you need to subscribe immediately to this channel. Don't wait not even one more second to share the inspiration of this story with at least 5 friends. Your support fuels the magic of these stories. Leave a like now to help feed the algorithm and let us spread the light even further. And comment below with your reactions and feelings about this incredible ending. This is the moment to show your support.